Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, September 4, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Temple vs Rutgers. The Owls struggled last season. They have better hopes for this season, however. William Kinku is going to be returning along with Manny Walker and Jordan McGee. They allowed 37.1 points per game, 110th, 208.6 rushing yards per game, 103rd, and 433 yards per game overall, 87th. They have a few transfers that should help, led by Will Rogers from Washington State, 6'4", 256, and linebacker Quantal Raines from West Virginia. Rutgers finished the 2020 season with a 3-6 record, but that was their best season since 2017, when the team went 4-8. The Scarlet Knights look to take a step forward in Greg Schiano's second year of his second go-round with the program. Rutgers snapped a 21-game losing streak in Big Ten play by beating Michigan State on the road in their opener last season, and look to build off that with a ton of returning starters. The Scarlet Knights have 10 starters back on the offensive side of the ball, 8 on defense, along with both their kicker and punter. That gives them a prime opportunity to improve in 2021. My betting advice is to pick Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Penn State vs Wisconsin. The Nittany Lions struggled on that side of the ball in 2020, where they went 4-5 in the shortened season. They lost their first 5 games of the season before winning their final 4. Mertz went 20 of 21 and threw 5 touchdowns in last year's season opener, but he had just 4 touchdown passes the rest of the year. My betting advice is to pick Wisconsin minus 5.5. Oklahoma vs Tulane. Tulane will be looking to keep trending in the right direction this season. They went 6-6 last season and have been improving every season. The team had a 3rd straight bowl appearance and is a new threat. This is good news for their program, and every season Tulane seems to be surprising to many. This season will be a good test for the development of the program. Oklahoma is making good progress. There is work still to be done, however, as Oklahoma is known for not being the best defensive team. Lawrence Stokes, Isaiah Thomas and Perrion Winfrey will be making their return to the squad. Last season, Oklahoma averaged 43 points per game and only allowed 21.7 points per game. QB Michael Pratt is back in the spotlight for Tulane after leading freshman QBs last season with 20 TDs. He will have his top targets back in Jaquan Jackson and Deuce Watts for this season. There are big expectations for Pratt this season, especially after his strong freshman campaign. He put up pretty good numbers considering he didn't start until the 4th game. He has a lot to prove and can be a major reason for Tulane to develop as a program. My betting advice is to pick Tulane. Monroe vs Kentucky. Ulm added some players on defense, but they also lost 5 players on defense that entered the transfer portal. The secondary has major issues, as does the pass rush. In the backfield, RB Chris Rodriguez Jr. returns, and he had a solid 2020 campaign with 765 rushing yards and also had 11 TD. The offensive line is also a pretty good one, but the question marks arise on the defensive side of the ball. My betting advice for that game is to pick Kentucky. Quick reminder, you can get 125% cash back bonus on your first deposit on our partner sportsbook BetUS after you open an account using our link down below and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES when making your deposit. Stanford vs Kansas State. This is a great opportunity for the young QB and is a situation he should take advantage of. At RB, Austin Jones is returning after producing 550 yards and 9 touchdowns last season. Receiving duo Michael Wilson and Bryson Tremaine are also making a return this season. Also returning this season is running back Deuce Vaughn, who led the team with 600 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns last season. Kansas will be relying on these two players heavily if they want a chance to have a successful season. My betting advice for that game is to pick Kansas State. Army vs Georgia State. Army has 5 starters coming back on offense, though they do have a luxury that most teams can only dream of at the quarterback position. 4 players that won a game under center last season are back for the Black Knights. There still are things to work on for certain. 2 of the team's 4 losses came in games where they scored 31 and 52 points, but the late season charge has to be something that coach Sean Elliott can point to as a starting point. This season, the Panthers bring back all 11 starters on the offensive side of the ball, making them a potential offensive juggernaut. My betting advice is to pick Army Black Knights +2. Western Michigan vs Michigan. The Broncos have a ton of returning starters to work with on both sides of the ball, making them extremely dangerous this season. 9 starters are back on offense and another 9 return on defense, along with both specialists. That gives Western Michigan a chance to compete in the MAC, but will they be able to take that experience and translate it on the field this season? The quarterback situation is in a state of flux, while on the defensive side of the ball, defensive coordinator Don Brown was given his walking papers. He'll be replaced by former Ravens linebacker coach Mike McDonald. With 9 starters back on that side of the ball, McDonald has the returning talent to make things work, but can the team turn things around? My betting advice for that game is to pick Western Michigan Broncos +17. Rice vs Arkansas. The Owls have lost some firepower in Mike Collins and Austin Trammell, but they will utilize the services of Wiley Green and Luke McCaffrey in the quarterback position. Kalen Griffin, Juma Atoviano and Ari Broussard will be the key runners. Settling for field goals is the equivalent of losing against this Rice team. With Phillip Franks in the NFL, the torch is being passed to sophomore KJ Jefferson to step up and lead an offense that averaged 391.5 total yards per game last season. Meanwhile, KJ Jefferson will have plenty with the help of Treylon Burks, questionable, Michael Woods II and Hudson Henry. The trio will come up big in an explosive opener for the Razorbacks to kickstart the 2021 season. Rice is in over their head in this one. The cupboard hasn't been emptied as far as offensive playmakers are concerned either. You can rest assured the Hogs will be looking to test the Owls' defensive front with Treylon Burks leading the attack for an offense that averaged 151 yards per game on the ground last season. It should be noted Burks is dealing with an injury, and his status is still up in the air for this game. The quarterback juggling for Rice will be a problem against an Arkansas team that forced 18 turnovers last season. Their pass rush was pretty much non-existent, but they consistently had guys making plays on the back end of the defense. They finished the season with 13 total interceptions, which was the second most in the entire SEC conference. The Owls will need to pick up their running game desperately though. They had just 1 rushing touchdown in 216 attempts in the last season. Their average yardage on the run was just 2.8 per carry. My betting advice for that game is to pick Arkansas Razorbacks. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.